When we talk about the history of education in the Philippines, we are looking at how our past has shaped the way we learn today. For about 385 years, the Philippines was under the influence of three colonizers: Spain, the United States, and Japan. Each of them used education as a tool to spread their principles and beliefs. Because of their different ideologies, the content and strategies of the curriculum also changed from one colonizer to another. For instance, during the Spanish period, the curriculum was centered on religion and the teaching of the Catholic faith. When the Americans came, they introduced free public education and placed great importance on English as the medium of instruction. The Japanese, on the other hand, emphasized nationalism and the use of the Filipino language. These shifts show us how major historical events and influences have greatly impacted the Philippine educational system. Understanding this helps us see why our curriculum today carries traces of religion, nationalism, democracy, and cultural diversity. As future educators, it is important to remember that curriculum is not just a list of subjects. It is a reflection of our history and the struggles and aspirations of our people. Before the arrival of foreign influences, during the pre-Spanish period, there were no formal schools in the Philippines. Education was oral, practical, and hands-on. Children learned skills from their parents and elders. Boys were taught farming, hunting, and fishing, while girls learned household management, weaving, and cooking. For example, a father teaching his son how to build a fishing net is already considered part of the educational process at that time. When the Spanish period began, schools were formally established. The main goal of education was to spread Christianity. Missionaries taught reading and writing, but lessons were mostly focused on Christian doctrine. For instance, the Doctrina Christiana was one of the first books printed to teach Filipinos prayers and religious instruction. Schools like the University of Santo Tomas were also founded during this time to cater to the elite. Under the American period, a public school system was introduced and made more accessible to many Filipinos. The Americans taught English as the medium of instruction and emphasized learning about the American way of life, democracy, and citizenship. For example, Filipino children began reciting the English alphabet, reading English stories, and even celebrating American holidays like the 4th of July. The Thomasites, American teachers sent to the Philippines, played a big role in shaping the system. During the Commonwealth period, the focus shifted toward promoting national identity and development. National vocational schools were established to train students in practical skills such as agriculture, trade, and home economics. Most importantly, the teaching of the national language, which was Filipino based on Tagalog, became a compulsory subject. For example, aside from learning English, students also had to study wikang pambansa in their classes. Finally, during the Japanese occupation, education was used as a tool for propaganda. The Japanese promoted 6 basic principles of education, which emphasized love for labor, respect for Japanese authority, and Asian values. Nihongo, or the Japanese language, was introduced in schools. For example, students had to learn to sing Japanese songs, recite Japanese greetings such as Ohayo gozaimasu, and attend flag ceremonies honoring Japan.